challenge, which I will be joining myself as well. My target is losing 4 kilos in 2 months. Hello, welcome. We have an amazing guest today. I will be waiting her to join us in a couple of minutes. Hello, welcome. So who wants to lose weight and get fit and get ready for summer? Me. I gained a few kilograms, a few pounds in the past few months because of working too hard and traveling and not doing a lot of physical exercise and not having time for breath work myself. So I started breath work today. I'm practicing breath work sessions with Breath Up every morning. We are downloading one new breathing session. My target is 6 kilos, great. We're downloading a new breathwork session which will speed up your metabolism, boost your metabolism, increase your body temperature. Sorry. For you, 5 kilos in 2 months, 3 months. Let's set goals. Let's set specific goals. Start by setting specific goals. Hi, Anna. Welcome. How are you?
Hello, Nevşah. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure.
We were just setting goals.
Good to connect with you.
My goal is losing 4 kilos in 2 months' time and regain my not strict but well eating habits, let me say, because I was just talking about it before you arrived. In the past four months, I think, because of traveling too much and working too much, sitting in front of the computer too much, I gained a few kilograms, and my target is losing those 4 kilograms, getting back in shape, also getting back to my healthier eating habits, because I remember one night I was eating M&Ms, like a bunch of M&Ms for dinner, because I was in front of the computer, and I usually start my days with meetings in the morning with my Turkish team, and then I have meetings in the UK with my European team, and then I have meetings in States until like 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I have meetings with some team members and some investors from Bay Area, LA. So it was kind of like a bit hectic. And now I'm back. Yeah, it was intense. Now I'm taking some time for myself. During the day, I promised myself to go for a walk or run in the morning. No sugar at all. I'm going to discipline myself to not eat sugar. Also do practice yoga three days a week. And let's see. And I'm going to be losing weight. Yeah, so let's start by introducing yourself to our followers.
Sure. Thank you so much. By the way, can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Likewise. And the feeling is mutual. First of all, such a pleasure to be here, and honor. Thank you so much for having me on. Well, fitness achievements. So I've been in this industry for over 20 years. So I'm 39, actually, had my birthday last month. So it's been a very long journey. I used to compete as well. I've retired from that. So I'm a WBFF pro. I'm a professional athlete. I'm still exercising. Thank you. So I won one of the European championships in London in 2016. Thank you. I appreciate that. Nevşah, I've got lots of certificates. Okay, nutrition, PT, highest level PT, level 3. But what I can share with the audience is that nothing can beat personal experience and experience dealing with other people, right? There's one thing what we read in the books, there's one thing that what we're studying, which is still useful information, no one denies that, but we also live in the age of abundance, almost overwhelming abundance of such information. And I recall myself when I was a teenager, we haven't had even half of it, but I was nevertheless frustrated because there's so many different diets, and it is like a fashion industry almost. You know, every other year or month you hear a new magic kind of pill diet that, you know, it's you name it, a keto, paleo, intermittent fasting. And the fact is that all of them do work, but it is important, and that is what I mainly wanted to bring up in this conversation, to actually tune into your body, okay? Because no one knows yourself better than you do, okay? But you have to learn about yourself. And the reason why I'm so excited to be a part of this particular conversation is that breathing exercises and meditation can actually help you to be present in the moment and really tune into your own body, okay? Now, carry on this subject. Any of these tools do work. It's just a matter of finding what works for you, right? And you can only do that by experimenting and really deciding mentally to stop following fashionable things. Okay, listen to what people say, but apply it to yourself and observe, notice how your body reacts to it, right? So if the new fashionable thing is being a vegan, but you feel absolutely inflamed and bloated, eating only vegetables,
yeah.
Well,
Or maybe
it's
you're
not for
losing
you,
muscle, because I was
right?
a vegan many years ago, and I was losing muscle, and I've been muscled up woman all my life. I played professional volleyball. I was professionally swimming. I did ballet, so it's gymnastics. So it's kind of like I was losing muscle, and I
Well,
wasn't feeling good about it. And what you're saying is right. Like listening to yourself, listening to your body, connecting with yourself, using breath work, using meditation, and that's like why I decided to quit sugar, because I listened to my body. And at one point, because I think I was eating sugar more than I ever did, and which isn't loads, but still like maybe one chocolate bar a day is still too much for me because my body isn't used to it. I started feeling a little nauseous, and I kind of like wasn't feeling good in my headspace by eating that sugar. So I think,
right.
we should all be listening to ourselves and deciding on what kind of a diet we should be on, or exercise plan. Some people, like yoga, it feels good. Some people like running. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. That's absolutely right. It applies actually to the, you're absolutely right. You know, it applies to pretty much anything in life, right? Like it's concerning exercise. There, like so many people say, look, I don't like going to the gym. Well, don't go to the gym. You can swim, you can run, you can dance, you can do, you can cycle. Find what it is that you love, because, there's a point of, a lot of people talk about motivation and inspiration. How do you stay motivated? And the only way I find really keeps you motivated is when you do something that you enjoy. Okay. For the long term, okay, short term, you can go through hectic diets, you can do hardcore exercises. But our goal here, even though we are talking about achieving certain short-term goals like losing 4 kilos, it's beautiful, you have an incentive, you go towards it, but the real goal in life is finding something that works long term, right? So that we don't gather here again in 2 months and say, I looked beautiful for a month and now I'm back to, plus 10 kilos, because I've been there, I've had rebounds after competitions. And that is why I was searching for the answers. How do I stay in shape, not for summer, not for a competition, not for my friend's wedding, right? How do I stay in shape for life? And it is always the only answer I have managed to find is that you got to find something that you love doing. And let's talk about the diet, because since it's our topic of conversation, it's actually very simple. You know, we hear a lot of different versions of how to get into shape, but guys, let's not forget, it's an industry, right? So dieting and exercising, it's an industry, and it's not convenient for companies to get you into shape. Otherwise, they lost their business, right? So, but it's actually very simple, and the formula that I would like to offer, which is actionable, you know, it's not just talking beautiful words. The actionable formula that I find works for everyone. I've dealt with so many people who are constantly in a great shape, athletes, models, just regular human beings who are, you know, found their middle way, you know, like they say in Asian tradition, you know, they found this golden middle, right? The Tao. It is finding the balance and having 80%, let's not get obsessed about the percentage, but let's say most of the food consumption should be from natural sources, right? So healthy choices, 80%, but not 100%, okay? Because we love to go this radical, you know, oh, now I'm going to be 150% committed, no sugar, no chocolate. Okay, well, the question is, can you do that for how long? You know, because one day and mentally it's not healthy, right? One day you'll rebound. So instead of going 100%, what really works is doing 80%, okay, because our body is dealing with what it receives the most. So if the most it receives good food, then that's what is going to, you know, reflect on your appearance. But the 20%, we can allow ourselves something that we truly enjoy without putting a label on that food. Is that a chocolate bar? Now, so you said about the chocolate bar that it doesn't make you feel good. So then, of course not, don't have it. But if you love an ice cream or a cookie or whatnot, and it actually makes you feel good, you know, it doesn't make you feel bad at all, you just enjoy it, then by all means, have it. And this freedom of allowing yourself to have a piece of chocolate actually is a big paradox, because by having this freedom, you don't actually even want to finish the whole cookie. You don't want to finish the whole jar of ice cream. You just have a few, you know, full spoons, and you're satisfied, because you know tomorrow I have this 20% of whatever it is that I fancy, you know. And even those 80%, the last thing that I'll say on this point, those 80%, again, this should be coming from what you enjoy, okay? I don't care, they say quinoa is the best for you, or the sweet potatoes. If you hate it, don't eat it, okay? If you love rice and white potatoes, which are still natural foods and they're still full of vitamins and minerals and whatever the body needs, then choose those foods that you truly enjoy,
exactly.
which are
like I
still
love
healthy.
Butter. I love a slice of butter.
Beautiful, vitamin E, so good for your skin.
Yeah, right. I love
That's
butter.
why your skin is so
eating.
beautiful.
I eat butter every day, and I don't care about what they say. I just love it. Yeah.
I've got saliva in my mouth.
Yeah, a piece of bread, a warm bread and butter. Yeah, exactly. And I myself, I had many years ago, I didn't have many weight problems, but I did have eating disorders in my 20s, like 20 years ago. And I would starve myself and then binge eating and stuff. So I truly can connect with what you're saying. And how I healed myself was first with breath work, because breath work allowed me to give myself space and freedom and it allowed me to feel safe with myself, with, you know, whatever I eat, however I feel. So it's kind of, that's why I'm so dedicated to breath work, because breath work is such a huge power. It's like breath is the bridge that connects us from the physical body to our true selves, to something really, really deep, which is much more meaningful. So for me, by going on a, you know, spiritual journey, breathwork path, practicing breathwork each and every day, connecting with myself, and just feeling safe with all my emotions, I realized two things. The first thing is I was either starving myself or, you know, binge eating because I couldn't manage my emotions. I couldn't balance my emotions, and my emotions were just like my eating habits, and my eating habits were actually the reflections of, you know, my emotions, because I was here and then there and here and then there, sad and happy and this and that. And the only way I could manage my emotions was through practicing breathwork regularly, because breathwork started changing my chemistry, it started changing my physiology and psychology. Like many people, you know, are nowadays on the path to, you know, either self-mastery, mindfulness, meditation. And I just keep on saying that breathwork is the most powerful tool. It's the most powerful tool because it changes our chemistry, and it gives us the food, the physical and the mental and the psychological food. And that was how I started balancing my emotions. First, my emotional eating it just evaporated. It was just gone, and I felt, you know, free. You know, it was just like you said, like being free and giving yourself the freedom to be yourself, to eat whatever you want, and then you don't want to eat too much because you have all the options, you know, and then it's much more easier. But
That's
for me
right.
right now, it's much more easier to, you know, okay, I want to lose weight. Let's quit sugar for a couple of months. It's much more easier because now it doesn't feel like limitation because I am free in myself. It's like nothing can limit me right now. But because many years ago, I had many limits in my breathing habits and thinking habits, everything felt limiting, and everything, you know, felt, I didn't feel free, and that led to a lot of, you know, eating disorders and all that. And now, because I give myself the freedom, I can make conscious choices. That's exactly the opposite I thought 20 years ago, you know, because you think you get results by controlling yourself, but actually you get results when you free up yourself and make conscious decisions inside that freedom you give to yourself. It's very interesting.
Absolutely. That is so true. And yes, this is exactly, you know, everything that you say resonates deeply, because a lot, again, in the fitness industry, we hear a lot about discipline and effort and making this, you know, go hard or go home, all of this stereotypes and conditioning that you have to push.
Stereotypes on steroids.
And have the discipline. Exactly, stereotypes on steroids. That's exactly what it is. And so this is where I myself felt very disconnected and trapped, and I constantly felt that it just doesn't feel right. It cannot always be, you know, I mean, I've been doing this for, like I said, almost 20 years, and, you know, I just constantly felt it can't be this pushing, you know, uphill all the time. It's just not right. There's got to be an answer to that. And what you're describing is this almost effortless pursuit of your goals, right? And there's few things that I want to add to this. Number one is we should always ask ourselves, why do we pursue a body goal, for instance, right? Because is it my authentic desire to be healthy and be in a certain type of body, right? Which is beautiful, and I believe that all of us should strive for that, because this is your tool for the soul, right? To evolve. It's like a car okay, that gets you to your goals. So obviously you'd like your car to be functioning and optimal, you know, to drive fast to your goals, and hopefully looking nice as well. You know, I mean, it's like nobody wants to drive a shitty looking car. But it has to be, there has to be a hierarchy of values, okay? So prioritizing your body is not good, right? Like, this is where we get people who are just completely obsessed with their physique and they're forgetting about everything else. Dismissing it is not good either. So we have to find it somewhere in the middle. So you have to use it as, again, as a vessel through which, you know, you receive the life force, breath including, right? And so we have to keep it in a good state, okay? Otherwise we just cannot function. We can't evolve, we can't learn, we can't grow, we can't achieve anything. And doing it by the pool. So when you truly realize that this is not because I looked in the cover of a magazine and I want to look like that skinny model who seems like she's lovable and has the attention and has the you know, man or whatnot, you know. If you truly understand that you want to look after yourself, not because you resent who you are right now, but from the place, right, from the place of I respect myself, I like myself, and therefore I want the best for me, okay? And the best advice I can give for anyone who's listening and watching is I like to make this example of a parent and a child relationship, which is a relationship within yourself, where the body is your child and your mind is the parent.
I love it. I love the example. Yeah, brilliant.
Anyone who has for anyone who has children, you love your child unconditionally, no matter what this child does. But nevertheless, you don't let the child eat cookie and ice cream and go play all day long, right? You give them 20% of that, but then because of your love and true desire for that child, desire for that child to be good, healthy, you know, grow in a good way, you educate your child. So you say, okay, here is 20% of candy, but there's 80% of read the book, go to sleep, have rest, don't stay on the phone for too long, right? But it's still a loving relationship, okay? You don't, you know, use a stick to just say no candy. All you're gonna have to do is learn, and etc., etc. So it has to be exactly the same notion within yourself. But for that, you almost have to come to a point of separation. It's like, I am not one entity, right? Because if I was one entity, then I would always do what I say I'll do.
Yeah, what you're talking about
not
is just
quite
basic behavioral science. Because in behavioral science, I'm a behavioral scientist. So in behavioral science, we look at you and your physiology in two different, because your physiology is a different entity. Your physiology learns. It learns certain habits, like the way you speak, the way you eat. It's kind of like your physiology is very different than who you are. And then there is you. And you can lead your physiology to learning a new habit, and you can lead your body to doing stuff.
Absolutely.
And sometimes your body does it on its own, or your body needs something else. Yeah,
all the time. If you don't,
something else.
right?
It needs
if you
something
don't control
else.
it,
and I think also understanding that it's kind of like there is this physiology already happening. Our biology, our physiology. It's a great operating system. Like, I have been researching on certain breathing habits people have and how respiratory reflexes work. It's like when you leave your breath and to your respiration works perfectly because it's a brainstem reflex. And the brain literally gets all the information from your body and then uses its reflexes to lead you into a breathing pattern that is useful at that specific moment for you. For example, if you're running too fast, you start breathing too fast because it's reflexive, because your body is releasing too much lactic acid. And you're with, increasing the breath, your brain is trying to, balance your pH so that you don't die of acidity. So the whole biology and our system works perfectly, and our body actually does also know or feel what we need. It's like, for example, for a couple of weeks, you go for meat. You want to eat more meat, and then you go to a doctor, and then he says you have low iron levels. That's why you want to eat meat, or crave meat. So I think,
exactly.
Learning about nutrition, understanding what's good and what's bad, what's healthy and what's not healthy, leading our body into healthy habits, but also giving space to listen to our bodies is the best balance. And that I've been, that I found a great way to stay healthy. And
manage. Right, to manage your health. Exactly, that's right. It's actually, this is so, I love our flow, because all the subjects that I wanted to bring up, you're actually saying it. The beautiful thing about our body is, if we don't stay on its way, right, if we don't make really bad choices, it is so, it's a miracle that how it all functions is just it's a miracle. So what I want to say is, if we have the weight loss challenge, right? So another practical advice that I would like to give to listeners is, you've got to understand one thing. The signals of hunger, okay, like, we have to reframe the relationship to even fat, right? Because we think like, our body is against me. Why am I gaining all this weight? I wish I didn't. But the body's primal role is survival. It doesn't care how many kilos you are. All it cares about is that you are alive. So it requires a certain amount of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, okay? A certain amount of energy per day. And when we provide that, okay, like we said, with those 80% of food that you like to eat, but that are natural, okay, that are natural source of those vitamins. And as you said, like, for example, protein, it is an essential thing, because most people think that protein is just a muscle, but actually 90% of our organs are made of protein. Keratin in the eye, I mean, like, skin, collagen, you've got protein everywhere. So it is a primal source of your nutrition, right? Like, you've got to provide some sort of protein, whether it's animal protein or plant protein. It's your choice. I personally, I have never tried veganism, because I mean, I always wanted meat, like, not red meat, but some sort of a protein. Again, listening to your body, not promoting anything, but when we give what the body needs, then it will not ask you for the quick source of energy. Why do we crave sweets? Because the body is like, like an innocent child. It doesn't actually know. It just wants the simplest, most fast observed source of energy, So our brain is like, I want sweet and fat, because obviously fat is the highest in calories and sweets is the easiest to absorb. And we think, something's wrong with me. I just crave this, sweets. But try this as an experiment. Say to yourself, I'm going to have whatever, a chocolate bar or an ice cream. But first, let me have, a good meal of something, like vegetables, carbs, and whatever, piece of meat or fish. And then see how you know, your body will just not crave it anymore, because it will receive what it needs. And by all means, after that, have a quick bite of that chocolate just for your mental, you know, happiness. but you won't, like I said before, you will not want to finish the whole jar, because until you give your body those elements, it will keep producing that hunger signal, you know, and you'll be like, oh, but I'm hungry again after half an hour. Well, because you've given it empty energy, which will be stored on your body, because, well, it's you know, again, thermodynamics, right? It's like, it's not going to disappear, so you store it, but your body still needs those vitamins and minerals. And until you start respecting that demands, it will be giving you those hunger signals.
Yeah, so weight management is more important than weight loss, and just, you know, finding your balance and finding a nice, you know, finding an eating habit that works for you. And I love the formula, 20 to 80 formula. And we're going on this challenge. So we're going to be helping, you know, users of breathwork with daily sessions every day to boost their metabolism, you know, also decrease the cravings and heal them and support them psychologically.
100%.
Because I've been, you know, doing that myself. I have seen thousands of people do that, you know, get to a level of balance with their health, with their nutrition. And I think you can do that with breathwork. Anyone listening to us or, you know, watching us. Yeah.
1,000%. 1,000%. Nevşah, can I just, the last thing I'd like to add, you know, there is a famous quote goes that food is most, what was it? Abused anti-anxiety drug, right? And exercise is most underutilized. So what helped me in my journey, for instance, and I like to give this example to, not example, actually, it's just a realization that food is not our enemy, okay? It's just the way how we regulate our nervous system, coming back to what you've started with, right? And there are toxic ways of regulating our nervous system, and there are positive ways of regulating our nervous system. So all it is just realizing what are the toxic ways that maybe came with generational conditioning, right? Like our parents, our grandparents, they were in the situation of starvation maybe, right? So our body cells remember that, and you know, it's like almost generational trauma that we're trying to fix our problems, thinking that I'm just gonna eat more food, where actually your body doesn't quite need it. But there's like a sort of a level of, you know, how we regulate our nervous system, like how we regulate our stress, and it goes, you know, food, or let's just not even say food, but it's like overeating, maybe like gambling, porn addiction, alcohol, cigarette, drugs, and then, you know, heavy drugs and suicide. So all of these things, they are not the enemy. They are the ways how we learn how to get co-regulate our nervous system, how to bring our body into balance, right? Because when you're stressed and your adrenaline is off the roof and your cortisol is, you know, really high, again, for the sake of survival, your body is like, I need dopamine, I need endorphins, I need, you know, serotonin, etc., oxytocin, whatever. So and then you have a choice. Which way are you going to use to co-regulate it? Is it going to be what I've just named, or is it going to be breath work, meditation, grounding, massage, connecting with the loved ones, calling someone on the phone, connecting with nature, right? Because these things will do exactly the same chemical, will have exactly the same chemical reaction inside your body in a positive way, right? So it's just a matter of having those tools and having the kind of the base, right? understanding why you're doing that, understanding that you should be coming from compassion and love and taking care of yourself. That's your base. And then we build the castle with the positive tools like a breath work. You know, I would definitely say it's the first.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the first thing
if
to
you
do.
have some eating disorders, or if you're not eating healthy, definitely breath work is the one tool that will help. And also analyzing your breathing habits, because not all breath work techniques works for everyone, and that's a huge mistake. Especially, you know, with people who practice different breathing exercises, huge mistake, because a breathing exercise your friend practices that relaxes him or her might be stressing you out, because we all have different breathing habits. We all have different
Wow.
bodies, different biologies. So analyzing breathing habits is the most important thing, which people can now do on Breath Hub with just answering
Wow.
a couple of questions, and we lead them into customized journeys, because it's very important.
Amazing.
We're all different. So finding your own way in the connecting with yourself, of course, learning, and then finding your own way is the most important thing. Thank you very much. I enjoyed every moment of our conversation. We're so much in tune.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Such a
Yes, it
flow.
was
Yeah,
such a
lovely.
flow.
It was great having you, Anna.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I would love to see
It's
you
been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Really an
in
honor.
in London sometime, hopefully. Yeah, let's meet. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. Let's
yeah.
connect and absolutely.
Yeah, so
It's been such an honor. Thank you so much for the space and for what you do, you know, because I think it's just so important for people to find that safe space, find those,
yeah.
you know, beautiful tools that we can all use for benefit of all, really, for that peace, for that, you know,
Yeah,
for what we are all
being
ultimately
sane,
looking for, really
being in
connection with
balance, being
ourselves.
sane. Thank you. Have a lovely
Yeah.
evening. Talk to you
Thank you.
soon. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, and you too.